Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today, man, we are going to be talking about Twitch's, I don't even know what to call this, man. I don't even really know what to come at y'all with this, but I guess the best way it can be put is the Twitch Thot meta is back. If it ever even really went anywhere, it is back, and I gotta say, man, the clip we're about to take a look at here is one of the, by far, more egregious cases I think I've ever seen of this, right? Now, in recent years, one of the, I would say, largest controversies that's really surrounded the Twitch platform has been the perceived favoritism that women get on the platform, and one big instance or example of that has always been with what people call things like, well, let's see, hot tub content, Twitch Thot content, e-girl content. There's just 800 different terms for it, right? But you already know what I'm talking about, man. It's these streams, basically, of girls who, like, they're pretending, oh, I'm about to come on here and play a game or whatever, right? And 80%, 90%, maybe even the full video, right, is just like their webcam, and they're in like a bikini, of course, right? Just showing off all the goods, you know, sitting in a hot tub or whatever, with their biggest D donator of the day badge right above them, you know? Just basically, it's mostly women who will like go on Twitch and they'll fiend for attention and get easy donations, easy follows, easy subs, whatever you want to give them, right? They just get this shit handed to them for free because they go on Twitch in a bikini. And you know, if you're even semi-attractive, right, there's always gonna be some simps online with too much money in their fucking pocket that cannot control themselves, right? And they will, unfortunately, give hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars to these random women online who they have never actually seen naked or talked to or anything, right? It's fucking pathetic is all I can really say about it, man. Like, a lot of people's like great grandpas, you know, like stormed the beaches of fucking Normandy, right? Their grandpas fought in Korea or Nam. Their dads were working in the coal mines, right? And then they're over here jerking off to fucking anime cosplayers on Twitch, right? It's crazy, bro. And to an extent, you know, you can use that argument. It's like, oh, you're a YouTuber or whatever. But like, dude, there is nothing worse than the people who perpetuate these constant fucking Twitch cycles where people just do this shit, right? Honestly, I don't even really know how I can show you guys this clip and really kind of remain within like TOS and not get demonetized or whatever, right? Like, YouTube already is pretty hard to kind of like circumvent or kind of get around the like monetization and age guideline policies, but like this shit is genuinely at this point, man, like it's bordering on softcore porn. Like, there's just no way around it, man. This is just blatantly so close to violating whatever little guidelines Twitch doesn't enforce, right? So I'm gonna try and show you this clip. I'm probably gonna have to edit it a little bit from the original source just to take away a little bit of the cleavage and boob, right? Because I mean, it's gonna, I'm pretty certain, get me clipped, and I don't want to get hit. So go ahead and take a look.
I feel
What is this meta?
and also like anxious today. You know what I mean? Titan, thank you for the tier 3. Thank you. I just want to relax today, so I don't really have any like sub goals or anything like that.
Alright, so the thing is, like, what you just saw is once again the, like, edited down, more tamed down version of what actually happened, right? Like, this is probably, at the bare minimum, like, 15 to 20% zoomed in. So, like, it's actually bad enough, right, where, like, her titties are hanging down, and you can see them actually hanging, and you can, like, pretty much see everything but the actual nipple here, right? Like, it's literally so borderline, so close to just being fully nude on stream. But I guess because they're not actually showing any nip action or whatever, right, it doesn't technically count as nudity, right? So, I think that's a pretty interesting concept, right, that you can literally go on Twitch if you're a woman, you can just have your rack hanging out, no problem. And as long as like the bottom 10% of your titties is not actually in frame, you can just get away with it, you know what I mean? No problem whatsoever at this point. But obviously one of the big issues with shit like this is there's just such an obvious bias towards these kinds of girls who do this shit, right? Like, in any normal world or society, what just happened would be against the Twitch terms of service. Like, it'd be against the guidelines. This account would be suspended or whatever. whatever, like this shit would just not fly. But you know, people have always said like, oh, if you're a woman on Twitch, you can either get no punishment or you can get like a heavily reduced punishment for certain things, right? And we've seen countless examples that seems to kind of indicate that that really might be the case. And I mean, this is just another one that people are going to throw on top of the already pretty tall pile, like I said, right? I mean, Twitch is doing themselves no favors by allowing this kind of shit to go on their platform, right? And at this point, man, I gotta say, it's like 20% the girl's fault and then like 80% Twitch's fault, right? Because like truthfully, both sides are to blame to a certain extent. But in my opinion, Twitch definitely holds way more like blame in this whole situation, right? Because one of the main reasons it's even such a controversy in the first place is because Twitch shows this favoritism or this like inability to actually equally apply their rulebook to everybody on the platform. And there's been, you know, creators both male and female that have been even sometimes like suspended for significant like times and just like basically had their careers like disrupted or fucked up. All because of minor infractions compared to something like this, right? And obviously that pisses people off. And then Twitch always has like these half-hearted, half-assed responses, right? Like I feel like they've reacted to this like meta or type of content like 4 or 5 different times now, right? Like every year it seems like a new different type of like Twitch thought meta comes along where they find a new way to kind of like barely skirt by, like barely skirt the rules to do shit like this. And then Twitch, instead of like just throwing the hammer down and just actually fucking enforcing their guidelines and making rules that apply to everybody, they'll like, you know, give these half-hearted responses where they pretend like they're actually addressing it. They'll do maybe like a minor rule tweak or whatever, make a small public corpo statement, and then that's pretty much all that really happens. Like I said, the next year they find a new way to do it. You know, last year they were in bikinis and hot tubs pretending that they were just taking a quick little swim on stream. This year, bro, they're just showing everything but the nipple, because that's technically okay. And once again, like the way that these kinds of rules are just enforced is realistically not fair. Like, I mean, let's be real here, man. I know this might be an uncomfortable thought, or I mean, fuck it. Hey, some of you are freaky, okay? I already know that. So I know for some of you, maybe this is a comforting thought, right? But I mean, like, we all know for a fact, right? If Lil Optimus hopped over on Twitch, right? And I pulled out my webcam and I put the left nut on stream, right? And just showed you guys half the fucking sack, right? They would not be okay with that. Like, you are genuinely trying to sit here and tell me, right, that if I was showing everything, I was showing ball sack, I was showing hair, half scrotum, you know what I mean? Like, if I came out here, right, and I was showing y'all 90% of my asshole, right, and just crazy shit, you think that Twitch would be okay with that, really? It wouldn't even be like a fucking day before they took action, bro. They'd have like a Twitch moderator teleport to my house with an AR, and they would just fucking execute me on sight, and like no one would even bat an eye. Like, it just, that shit would not fly, dude. Twitch would have me offline as soon as they could, you know, but if it's a woman, right, and you show 90% of your butthole or whatever, that's cool, man. I don't even know, like, what the rule update is that's allowing this. I don't know if it's just, like, you can't show nips, or if, like, they're getting away with this by saying it's body art. I know people were trying to do that for a while, right? They'd get naked and they'd, like, paint on themselves to look like, I don't know, fucking Avatar characters or something, and then they'd just be like, oh, I'm doing performance art, I'm doing body art. And that was the way that they could like show their titties and whatnot on stream, and nobody could really do anything about it. And then yeah, like now we got into this point, man. Like it just, I don't know. Like I said, 80% of the blame just comes back on Twitch because they continue to perpetuate this kind of cycle on their platform. They don't really do enough to actually stop it when it comes around. And then whenever any new meta pops up where they try to circumvent it, they sit around and just let the shit happen for weeks, if not months, until like all the women on the platform are basically doing it, because it's the only way that they can get viewers anymore, because everybody else is fucking doing these streams and taking up all the viewers, right? Then all of a sudden when the backlash gets loud enough, they pretend like they care, man. And like that's not gonna work. Like if this is what people are genuinely gonna be doing on Twitch, just rename the fucking website Twitch Hub at this point, bro. Like if you're basically just gonna allow people to sit there and stream softcore porn and just like, you know, do whatever they can to try and almost circumvent the rules, bro, why even have the rules in the first place? Like, what are you really stopping, okay? Like, what about this is less sexual than someone just showing the full thing? There's like a 5% difference at this point, man. Like, And once again, like, some of the blame does go back on the girls, because, like, they know what they're doing, right? Like, this girl, she knows what the fuck she's doing. She didn't just pop up in front of her webcam one day with no shirt on and, like, barely didn't have nips in cam and just, like, had no idea what was gonna happen, right? Like, they know what they're doing. They know what kind of, like, formula they're kind of applying, what kind of advantage they're taking, right? And you know what? To a certain extent, I don't blame them, because, like I said, man, if you're an even, like, halfway attractive female, right, you can fucking pass as something that doesn't look like a fucking tree stump or something, right? Or a wildebeest. You can just get half naked on Twitch and just make fucking thousands of dollars a month from sad dudes. Like, yeah, how many women, like, let's say a 24-year-old woman, right, just got out of college last couple years, you know, maybe her degree's not going so well, she's not applying it in the real world. You're telling me that if she sees that she can go on Twitch and make $8 grand a month by almost showing nipples, but not showing nipples, that she's not gonna do that, bro? It's like the same thing with OnlyFans and shit, man. Like, everybody critiques these girls for doing it, right? But they see every other fucking girl nowadays, it feels like, doing all this OnlyFans stuff, and everyone's always talking about how much money they make, all this crazy shit that they get to do, right? And, like, you know, in a way, it kind of glamorizes it, I feel like. And, like, it's the same thing with Twitch. A lot of these girls, you know, even if they did want to play video games and just stream that shit, like, what are they gonna do? They're competing against all these other female streamers, right? Who 80% of them, they're gonna take the easy road. They're gonna take the fucking streaming with their titties almost out on cam, you know what I mean? To make some easy money. Because why wouldn't they? If they can make all this money doing it and get all this attention and all these followers and all these fucking simps to constantly pay them for whatever, it's almost like, why wouldn't they do it at a certain point? And, you know, I guess that doesn't absolve them of all guilt or whatever, because once again, they know they're profiting off this shit, they're fine with it. But ultimately, the system is still in place to allow them to do it. And as much as people have complained about that existing and have tried to get Twitch to dismantle it, man, they just don't. So I don't know, like, is this gonna just be the new constant on Twitch whenever they find some sort of new way to try and pretend they care with a rule update? All these girls just find a new way to get around it or whatever? Who really knows? I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what's gonna happen, but, like, I don't know. It's getting to a point where I feel like eventually they're gonna have to really do something. If they really are serious about, like, oh, we can't have this shit here, they gotta really, like, actually try to make this shit stop. So anyway, with all that being said, though, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at SubTheOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below. Thank you to my Watch Optimus subscribers. Your support helps the channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, just going on Twitch and showing my ball sack on webcam and signing out.